SmackDown, and me and Vlad were texting while we were watching this that, yeah, this is going to start the show for us because this was good. This was from Madison Square Garden, and this was a tribal court, this time called by the Usos after they defeated Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at the Money in the Bank. And so Roman Reigns comes out, and he's like, I'm the only one who can call tribal court because he's the tribal chief, right? He has the authority to do that. But the Usos say, nah, they're not going to be pushed around anymore. And they show him a highlight reel of the abuse that they've received. And Roman's defense is that he did what he had to do to stay on top, and he did it for the family. He was WrestleMania main event before the Bloodline. So the Bloodline are the ones who actually need him more. And he says he bent his moral compass for the family, which I thought that was actually a good point. I mean, he did make the Usos. The Usos were nothing before they were part of the Bloodline. So anyways, before I get your comments, let me go ahead and roll through this segment. I know summary reviews are, it's not the most, you remember when we used to write essays in school? I would kind of write a little summary sometimes before I went into my point, and the teacher would always say, no, don't summarize. I know what happened. But in this case, there's been so much wrestling. I think summary reviews are kind of nice to hear. I like how people like the different ways people summarize the show. It's kind of funny to me. It's amusing. So let me roll through this segment just to refresh your memories, and I'll get your comments on it after we're done. So after Roman gave his defense for how he's been acting and how he's been abusing his cousins, he said that he was tired and he didn't want to do it anymore. So he took off his tribal chief necklace and put it on Jay, kneels before him, cries, actually shed a tear, which was incredible.
It was. I love that.
Yes, I mean, I would like to know if it was true or if they have some kind of gimmick tear that they could put on. But anyways, so it looks like he's going to pass off the tribal chief honor to Jey Uso, but instead he low blows him, okay? And then it's on. Jimmy attacks Roman, Solo takes Jimmy out, and Solo has this dramatic moment where he has the tribal chief necklace in his hands. And the crowd is saying, put it on, like I guess if he puts it on, that would make him tribal chief immediately, right? By the way, Robert, I don't know if you knew, because I did some research on this necklace that these Samoans wear. You want to know what it's called? A ulafala. And it's made from the seeds of the fruit of the pandanus tree.
Okay.
And it's painted red. It's not actually red, but they painted red for aesthetics. And high chiefs of Samoan culture wear them on special occasions. So I think that's why we've seen Roman usually wear them at his pay-per-view matches and, not on every single show. But, yeah. Okay, so Solo has this moment where he's holding the necklace and the crowd is saying, put it on, which I think is a little funny that, they're kind of pushing Solo pretty hard here to even consider him as like a tribal chief leader. But okay. So he thought about it. He looked at it real dramatic, and he was about to give it to Roman when he gets blindsided. So the melee continues, and it ended with Roman and Solo beating up the Usos and sending Jimmy to the hospital. So that was this segment. This angle returns later in the show, but before we get to that, 30 minutes, 40 minutes if you include the one commercial break they had for Roman's entrance. But this was a big block of show to start the show. No wrestling, just, an angle, a storyline angle. But let's hear your guys' comments on this. I know I was gushing over it. I really enjoyed it. But Vlad, we'll start with you.
This was great. What else can you say? I don't want to take up too much time, but this was so entertaining. The angle has been great from the beginning, and even though I had some issues like post WrestleMania, like how is this going to continue? Where's it all going to go? It's been really good. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah,
we
hear you.
Oh, okay. Just I wasn't sure. But anyways, yeah, so this was so entertaining. That Roman Reigns is doing some incredible work as far as just the acting ability. I know that's not really really thought of in wrestling, but you want to kind of make an angle believable, and he's really making it quite believable with what he's saying, how he's behaving, what he's doing. I mean, he is definitely the reason that this angle is as good as it is because he's so over, whether he's getting booed or whether he's getting cheered. But anyways, it was great stuff. I mean, and the fact that it went 40 minutes or whatever, I'd rather watch 2 hours of this than watch 2 hours of a regular SmackDown anytime, any day, given what we usually get on SmackDown. So, again, I don't want to take up too much time on it because it was fantastic, but a lot of stuff with Roman Reigns is fantastic. So, and this was just another example of just a great wrestling moment, angle, whatever have you.
Robert, give us some thoughts.
I loved it. I talked to Vlad about it before, where I would think that was a legit tear, but I couldn't do if you asked me to cry right now, I wouldn't be able to do it. So for him to be able to pull it off like that live, that takes some talent, man. So I was very impressed by it. Man, this angle is just the gift that keeps on giving in wrestling.
Hey, so to you, Robert, first, because I've heard it bantied about that he might get nominated for an Emmy. Do you think that they should accept this nomination, or would that sell out the business as fake?
Okay. Hold up. You have to. All right. I have to think of this relatively speaking, right? I mean, I'm not gonna compare him to actual actors and TV shows, but relatively speaking, compared to what's presented in wrestling, this was very, very good. But I don't know about an Emmy.
What about you, Vlad? How about an Emmy for Roman Reigns?
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'd give him a couple Emmys. I mean, who cares about the Emmys? Just give him whatever. But no, but it would be ridiculous, obviously. Yeah, I mean. I mean, selling out the business, that ship has sailed. But as far as just the fact that a wrestler getting an Emmy, it seems pretty nuts, and I don't really think we should go that direction. But it's WWE, so they consider themselves more of a soap opera entertainment than they do an actual sports-based wrestling company. So maybe, why not? Maybe somehow Vince could push for something like that to happen, where one of his wrestlers gets nominated for an Emmy somehow. I don't know, but no, I hope it doesn't happen.
Hey, all right. Well, one more thing before I move on. So that part where he knelt down and he passed off, looked like he was gonna actually pass off the tribal chief honor to Jey Uso. Any of you actually think that he was actually going to do that, or were you waiting for the swerve?
No.
I think he was crying and everything.
Yeah, I knew it was an obvious swerve, because why all of a sudden would he just hand it over to him just because he lost one match? It didn't really make any sense. But yeah, I mean, I saw the swerve coming, and it was still entertaining and interesting nonetheless. But, all credit to Roman, and not only is this angle entertaining, but it's also drawing a lot of money. They're getting huge and huge ratings and money. Anytime they're on TV, or this is a major draw for one of their premium live events, whatever you call them. So yeah, it's great all across the board. You can't really say too much negative about it just because it's entertaining, people are watching it, and it's making everybody money that's involved. So, pretty good.
All right, then. Let's move along. So at the end of the show, I'm just going to skip to, let's stick to this angle. At the end of the show, Jey Uso does return from, accompanying Jimmy to the hospital. And he wants to, confront Roman. So he does. Roman comes out to, have one more promo segment to close. And Jay comes in, attacks Solo, then goes to town on Roman with the chair shots, more chair shots on Solo for good measure, and he closes by saying he's the judge, jury, and executioner of the trial of the tribal chief, and that he's gonna get him. He's got to get him. So I guess we're in for another Jey Uso Roman Reigns feud coming up, I guess. So, any thoughts about that, or I'll move on? I mean, I got what happened on the rest of SmackDown here. Not very much, honestly. I could list it just to show that nothing but this, you know. But wait, before I move on, no one has any other thoughts about that, right?
Not really.
Not really. I mean, it's going to be fine. It's a good progression to the angle. I know that they've had a feud before, but I think it's, given everything that's happened within the last couple of years, I think it's actually now going to be even better than their previous matches and work. So we'll see.
Oh,